The nitrogen crisis. It's a very hot topic in the Netherlands. But what exactly is nitrogen? What are the consequences for nature? And how does this crisis influence the Dutch government and the Havenkosterweg? The symbol for nitrogen is the letter N. Nitrogen is part of our life. It's the most part of our food. Also food that's consumed by animals. It's also in the air. Almost 80% of the air consists of nitrogen. We breathe in this air for over thousands of years every day. Nitrogen is also something we emit. This happens on a natural way through our feces. In both humans and animals. Also the industry and the traffic emit nitrogen. This happens when fuel is burned. The Netherlands has pointed out 162 areas as Natura 2000. These are European protected nature reserves. In a lot of these areas go plants that can handle too much nitrogen. These are some plants who really thrive on nitrogen. The problem is that they overgrow the normal plants. That's why in the Netherlands we have an agreement where you need to have a license to emit nitrogen. Until 2019 there was a special agreement called the PAS, Programma Aanpak Stikstof. With this program you were allowed to emit nitrogen if you also did something good for the nature. Infrastructure, housing and farmers used this program. Through lawsuits of nature activists, this program was invalidated. Therefore, nobody could get a license anymore to emit nitrogen. The industry, such as building houses and farmers, suffer from this. This causes the Netherlands to slow down. The Dutch cabinet has made a nitrogen map with colors. Every color defines an area which has to emit less nitrogen. The goal is hard: 50% less emissions in the Netherlands in 2030. In some areas this even gets increased to 75% or even 95%. The government has chosen for a top-down policy, an assignment from above, an office who just made a map of the Netherlands, without discussing this with affected sectors and the provinces. But eventually they have to make the change. What are the consequences for housing and farmers? When building houses and other buildings, nitrogen is released both during the construction process and afterwards. It's released during the construction phase, for example, by the delivery of material by trucks. During the using stage, when people start using the buildings, nitrogen is also released. You can also think of the use of natural gas via the heating or gas stove and the extra traffic that has to come to the buildings. Because the PAS doesn't work anymore, the government chose to shut down the building sectors. But when you look at the total emission, in comparison to, example, farmers, they don't really emit that much nitrogen. That combined with the housing crisis makes this a topic difficult. Farmers emit nitrogen through their animals. Ammoniac from animal feces and fertilizer gets in the air and soil. The soil gets saturated with nitrogen and gives an opportunity for plants to overgrow, especially in nature reserves such as Natura 2000. The Netherlands stands at the top when it comes to the number of animals per square kilometer. So nitrogen is a big problem there. Farmers have been changing their farms for over 10 years now because of the nitrogen crisis, but the government doesn't really see that. They only want to reduce emission on their terms. Farmers are willing to change, but more in a way that they can choose what to do. Farmers should be given an opportunity to change their way of work so that it is sustainable. Financed by the government, they could, for example, become developer or energy supplier. In this way, farmers don't get bought out, but they will think of a suitable and sustainable solution with the provinces for the future. The government stands for a big challenge. At the Havenkosterweg, the plan is to build houses, and at the south side of the area is a Natura 2000, with farming next to it. Working at the solution with the municipality and Province Gelderland, we will get this area prepared for the future. In the current situation, without the PAS, houses can't be built and farmers must change their way of work to reduce emission of nitrogen.